Y'all send script? Huh? Sydney. Mesh. Bring my backpack. I'll take care of it. Anthony, you don't have the dongle? Where's that for the No, that was the one. Remember, you left on the seat in the car and I handed it to you in the Sprinter? Where'd you put it? No, we didn't use it. Where's the one that, remember, we're sitting on, yeah, that's the one. Where is, Henry, are you seeing the Shaka Khan? Is it playing? It is. Got it. All right. See, it's gone? Mine's still saying connected. Okay. Okay. Okay, I got it. All right, bring me that smart water. All right, we fine. No, you don't. Yo, fire the commercial. Live on all platforms. I'm still hearing music, I'm not hearing commercial. Come on. Pull the music down. Commercial's up.
Starting at just $35. All on the network more people rely on.
Verizon just gave us all a brand new iPhone 13.
We've been customers for years. I thought new phones were for new customers. We got iPhone 13s too, switched to Verizon 2 minutes ago.
Ours were busted, and we still got a shiny new one.
Check it out. So wait, everybody gets the same great deal?
I think that's the point.
iPhone 13 on us. For every customer. Current, new, everyone. on any unlimited plan, starting at just $35. All on the network more people rely on.
Hey, folks, today is Wednesday, June 29th, 2022. Roland Martin Unfiltered, broadcasting live from New Orleans, coming up on the Black Star Network. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson is going to be sworn in tomorrow as the next Supreme Court Justice because Stephen Breyer is going to be retiring at the end of this session. We'll talk about that on the show. Also, R-Kelly, 30 years in prison, 30 years in prison. In federal court, he still faces a state trial. He may very well spend the rest of his life behind bars. Also, on today's show, major political battles are shaping up. More primary results are in from various states. We'll talk about that as well. And we'll cover other news of the day. Folks, it's time to bring the funk. I'm Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Let's go. Problem with the show open. Hey, did you do this here, didn't you? All right, folks, welcome to today's show. As I said, we are here in New Orleans working with folks at Coca-Cola. They're presenting sponsor of Essence Festival. We'll be broadcasting all this week, doing various coverage from the events taking place in New Orleans. But we still, of course, doing our normal show as well. News of the day that we're covering. We want to first talk about politics. All across the country, primaries took place. Illinois, New York State. We also saw in Colorado. And we see what is shaping up and what is happening here in terms of various candidates who are running. It's very interesting in Colorado, the rejection of Donald Trump MAGA candidates for more moderate winners on the Republican side. In Illinois, more Donald Trump MAGA folks winning in that particular state, running against Democrats. I want to talk about this here, of course, with our panel. So joining us here in New Orleans, glad to have these two esteemed gentlemen with me. Will Sutton, known Will for quite some time through NABJ. He's a columnist here with the local paper here. First of all, it's hard to even say not local paper because everything is now digital. And so how would you frame it?
The Times-Picayune, The Advocate, NOLA.com. We're based in southern Louisiana, cover the state.
See, I wouldn't even, don't even call it paper anymore. So that whole thing has actually changed. Also, Robert Collins, professor, urban studies and public policy at Dillard University. Glad to have both of them here. So let's get right to it. So it's very interesting when I look at these results. You have Colorado, where a number of folks who were running who were big-time supporters of Donald Trump rejected, including one individual who was election denied, running for Secretary of State. She loses. But then you have in Illinois where you have black candidate, Republican, seen as the best choice to run against Governor Pritzker. They put $50 million behind this guy. He comes in third. And there's frankly unknown state senator, not in office long, hitched his wagon to Trump. He wins. But the crazy thing, Joseph, is that I'm still totally freaked out by this. So the Pritzker PAC put a lot of money behind that guy because they said, we want the crazy guy. We think he'll be easier to beat. Even in one race somewhere else, Nancy Pelosi's PAC put money behind the outlandish MAGA candidate. So it's real interesting the political games are being played this season.
Well, you know, in the past that worked. I mean, in past election cycles, the national Democratic money, the national PACs would try and find the most extreme candidate, the people, people who had to, we remember a few years back, we had a candidate who had to say that I'm not a witch, had to deny she was a witch. And, so they would put the money behind the most extreme candidate to get into a runoff with incumbent Democrats.
Or the guy in Missouri who made the comment about rape running against, they basically helped Claire McCaskill hold on to her U.S. Senate position.
Yes, exactly. And so that was standard strategy in the past. But now we're living in MAGA times, and MAGA times are different because in a lot of those cases, the MAGA candidate has turned out to actually be not the weakest candidate, but the strongest candidate, and we've seen situations where the MAGA candidate has actually gone on to win those elections or to be very strong in those elections. So, I don't know that that's going to work this time around. I mean, it's worked in the past. It's a gamble. It's a gamble because then if you lose that race, now you have an extremist in the U.S. Senate that you have to deal with and who's not going to really negotiate with you at all. And so I think it's a gamble. It's not something I would do, but I'll see if it works out.
Well, I think it also depends upon the state that you're in. Obviously, if you're in Illinois, at the end of the day, let's just be real. In Illinois, you demolish Republican in Cook County, you win the governor's mansion.
Absolutely.
And so putting up that kind of candidate scared the hell out of people there. And so I think that works in Illinois. But the Colorado piece I thought was real interesting, where literally those Republican voters rejected the MAGA folks, or who Biden keeps calling ultra MAGA. I'm going to talk about that 'cause I think that's stupid. And so that's a perfect example as well. And so I think what Democrats are saying is, okay, we know the hardcore right will turn out, but by us also pushing that hardcore MAGA person, what does that say to those independents who may decide to go either way?
Yeah, and one of the things that's happening the further we get away from the last election is Republicans are beginning to make some choices based on the candidates before them. Those candidates that are more established have done something, whether we agree with it or not, have something to offer, have a record. In some cases, those Republicans are saying, no, we know this guy, we like Trump, but we know this guy, and we want to go in this direction.
Look at Georgia.
Right.
I mean, any number of Trump people lost in Georgia, and they flat out rejected his endorsement because he endorsed.
Absolutely, which also means that it is not as simple as the Trump shine. That there is no Trump shine. Just because the name Trump is attached to a candidate or to a cause, it does not mean there's enough strength behind it. And Democrats should not give up just because Trump seems to have a lot of power.
But again, I think it depends upon the state. I mean, you look at what happened in Alabama when he endorses Congressman Mo Brooks, then he pulls his endorsement. Then he endorses the person running against him. She ends up beating Mo Brooks, and now Mo Brooks is mad as hell. Saying you can't trust Donald Trump's word because I'm living proof.
Yeah. It seems to the Trump endorsement seems to work in the deep red southern states, so Mississippi, Alabama, places like that. It seems to help. In the more complicated states like Georgia, obviously it didn't help him at all. Colorado, which is really a blue state. I wouldn't call Colorado a swing state anymore. I would call Colorado a blue state. It's not going to happen. It's not really going to help you there. So So I mean, I agree. It really depends. It just really depends on the state.
And Virginia was a complicated state. The Republican won for governor, but he didn't really want the Trump touch because he was concerned.
Well, he wanted it, but he didn't want it. But he also, the advantage that he had there was Terry McAuliffe was running for governor again, and frankly, no one asked him to run again.
Right.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, no one was asking McAuliffe for a second term, and so he never made the case as to why in the hell he should get a second term.
Right. Yeah. So he did have some campaign definition issues, and kind of blew things up on the school issue in particular.
Oh yeah, he really blew that one. I also think again, as we look at what's happening here, I mean, all of these people were predicting a complete wipeout of Democrats in the fall. Quinnipiac has a new poll out showing Senator Raphael Warnock 54-44 against Herschel Walker. Now Quinnipiac is often some see them to be a little bit more skewed towards Democrats, but the fact that their poll is showing that, also, when you factor in the polling data since Roe v. Wade and how the impact that has had, you look at what's happening in Texas with Uvalde, where all of a sudden Abbott had a 15-point lead against Beto O'Rourke. Now all of a sudden that's down to 5. So what does that say? All these people who assumed, oh, well, Joe Biden has a low approval rating, so therefore that means Democrats are going to get wiped out. No, you're actually seeing something different happen. Also, I saw some other polling where the candidates, Democratic candidates in Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Wisconsin, as of June polling, are beating the Republicans. And Tim Ryan is up 1. Another poll shows he's down 1 in Ohio.
So, okay, so we have to separate the House and the Senate. Now, as far as the House, since the Civil War, we have had 40 midterm elections. The president's party, the party in the White House, has lost seats in 37 of those. So you're running against really strong historical headwinds there. So it's going to be tough.
Right, that's historical headwinds, but the Democrats did a very good job in the legal battle in redistricting to basically stem the Republicans taking over a lot of those seats. They won a lot of those cases, and so they put themselves in a position to possibly have a good chance to holding on to it.
It would be tough. Maybe they can, but I'm just saying historically.
And would have helped if we got that black district here in Louisiana.
Yeah, it would have helped a lot. So, however, the Senate is a totally different animal. There have been years where the incumbent president's party has lost seats in the House, but has actually gained seats in the Senate. The Senate is a much more complex calculus. Number one, of course, only one third of the seats are up because, of course, that's the Constitution. And number two, it all depends on how many seats each party is defending. This time around, the Republicans are either defending more seats or there are more open seats that simply because Republicans are retiring. So it's going to be more difficult for the Republicans this time. So I think it's very possible not only for the Democrats to hold on to the Senate. If I were a betting man, I would say it's good odds that they could pick up a couple seats. Now, will they pick up enough to break the filibuster? I don't know, but they could. So I mean, if I were a betting man, I haven't seen anything yet that would dissuade me from that the House is still going to be hard for them to hold the House, but I think they could gain in the Senate.
I really think, Will, when I look at this in terms of what has helped, I do believe that there's no doubt in my mind that Supreme Court's Roe v. Wade decision is huge.
It is.
I also think when you look at what has been unfolding, when all these people who keep acting as if the January 6th committee was no big deal, the fact of the matter is that is damning information that's also spreading, that's going also beyond Donald Trump. And I think I see Erickson and other conservatives who are saying, the blue check people, they're the ones who just really paying more attention to this. And I'm sitting here going, yeah, I mean, I get inflation, I get gas prices, but again, I think if Democrats really play smart in terms of talking about how fragile this democracy is and what these people are intending to do, and they brought it beyond Donald Trump, that can also have an impact on who turns out.
Absolutely. I mean, Roe is huge, and it's not a 1 day, 1 week, or 1 month story. We got a long time between now and November, and I get the idea of who you vote for matters, and elections have results, but the vote in the midterm is some months from now. You can't just sit back and wait and then rally the troops in November and say, now come out and vote, even early vote. You got to make sure that there's a reason. You got to make sure there's fire. You got to make sure there's enough anger, there's enough passion. Roe is one of those things, but then there's the components of Roe and what it means, and what it means by state. In your hometown, here's what it means.
Right. And
here's what it means. Did you understand?
And don't let all of a sudden something happen to a woman with a particular pregnancy where her life could have been saved prior, and all of a sudden she dies.
And for all those people in your own state and in your home county or parish who are like, rah, 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 ask them the specific questions. So what about a 13-year-old white girl, daughter of yours, Is it going to be okay? Are
Well,
you going to?
Well, the Mississippi Speaker of the House, he got hit with that question numerous
Right.
times when he was asked specifically if a 12-year-old was raped or incest was committed by an uncle, and would you require her to have that child? And he said yes. But what's interesting is in Missouri, now you have a hospital in Missouri where they have 16 hospitals, I think it's in St. Louis, now saying that if a person is treated at their hospital who got raped, they will not give them Plan B. See, I think for the longest, I think there were people who said, you know what, I'm anti-abortion as long as there are exceptions. The problem is a lot of these laws now being passed, there are no exceptions to rape and incest. And I still believe that is going to have an impact when somebody says, wait a minute, y'all are supporting if a child is raped or someone sexually assaults them, you're going to force that child to have the baby or someone else? Again, I know, they're hardcore, which is why a lot of Republicans are not trying to talk about the Supreme Court decision. They are scared of that very thing.
Well, in part, some of them don't want to talk about it because they're not reading the decision. They're not reading the laws they pass. And some of those laws have conflicts within the laws that actually got passed.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so, and now what we're seeing, so in Wisconsin, they actually have had a ban of abortions in the 1800s. Now the governor said he's going to give clemency. Then you have Michigan, because a lot of people look. I didn't realize that Michigan had an anti-abortion law, but because of the Roe v. Wade, that law was irrelevant. And so, yeah, I think as this begins to unfold and we begin to see individuals who are particularly impacted by this decision. In fact, I think it was, where was it? Was it Mississippi? There was a woman who has cancer, and the doctors, and she was pregnant, and the doctors told her, you're going to have to terminate the pregnancy before we can begin cancer treatments. She has to go to Indiana. She literally has to go to another state. I think when more of those stories happen between now and November, I think that has an impact on voting.
Yeah, and I don't think it's probably going to be a while before we know exactly what that impact's going to be, because I know some pollsters who put polls in the field, but the really hard feelings aren't going to start coming out, like you said, until there's an emergency situation.
First of all, this is
so it's,
okay. Look at the date. This is June 29th.
Right.
Okay, July, August, September. If somebody got pregnant, since Roe v. Wade, that decision comes up in the next 3 months of the first trimester.
Yep.
And those laws are 15 weeks. Some of the laws are 6 weeks. Some of them are trying to start with immediate inception. So I just think that, again, I think what's going to happen is you're going to see when September rolls around, I think that's when you're going to see that impact in that polling data where Republicans could have had, in many cases, 5, 6, 8 point leads, and all of a sudden that thing is going to be tightened, or the Democratic candidate is actually in the lead here. Let's talk about this here. Actually, I'm going to do this here. I'm going to go to a break. We come back. I got to ask y'all about President Joe Biden and his using of ultra MAGA. I think it's stupid as all get out. But I definitely want to get y'all thoughts on that. Folks, this is Roland Martin Unfiltered. We're broadcasting live here in New Orleans. We'll be right back on the Black Star Network.
Love our new Alexa.
It's a Buick.
Yeah, Alexa.
Buick.
Alexa.
It's a Buick.
It's an Alexa.
It's a Buick.
It's an Alexa.
Coach, that's a Buick.
That's an Alexa.
The Buick Enclave with available Alexa built-in.
I'm Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, and on the next Get Wealthy, what do the ultra wealthy know that most of us don't? Well, the truth is that there is financial exclusion, and unfortunately, far too many Black folks haven't had access to this knowledge, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about on our next Get Wealthy with Melinda Hightower, a banker who's doing something to share exactly what you need to do to make it into the high net worth status.
They weren't just saving just to save, they were saving for a purpose.
That's right here on Get Wealthy with me, America's Wealth Coach, only on Black Star Network.
How about sushi?
I just had sushi for lunch yesterday.
How about tacos?
Automatic emergency braking, one of 6 advanced safety features standard on every 2022 Chevy Equinox. Find new technology. Find new roads. Chevrolet.
Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?
America's Wealth Coach. And on the next Get Wealthy, what do the ultra wealthy know that most of us don't? Well, the truth is that there is financial exclusion. And unfortunately, far too many Black folks haven't had access to this knowledge. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about on our next Get Wealthy with Melinda Hightower, a banker who's doing something to share exactly what you need to do to make it into the high net worth status.
They weren't just saving just to save, they were saving for a purpose.
That's right here on Get Wealthy with me, America's Wealth Coach, only on Black Star Network.
What's up, y'all? I'm Will Packer.
I'm Chrisette Michelle.
Hi, I'm Chaley Rose, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
All right, folks, welcome back to Roland Martin Unfiltered here in New Orleans. We're joined by Robert Collins, Will Sutton. All right, y'all, President Joe Biden sent this tweet out. He says, folks, let's get one thing straight. The ultra MAGA agenda has always been about taking away women's rights in every single state. I hate that phrase, ultra MAGA. What the hell is ultra MAGA?
I don't really know what it means. I'm assuming he means the more extreme MAGAs, but either you're MAGA or you're
right. I mean,
either you're MAGA or you're not.
So apparently,
far right.
So apparently, one of the Democratic groups, they tested this and they ran it through various focus groups, whatever. I'm sorry, to me, here's what you set up. Ooh, the ultra MAGA's real bad, but MAGA's okay. Dude, what are you doing? It's the same.
Yeah. There's no moderate MAGA. There is no moderate MAGA.
Right. Is that a perfect example of Dems trying to get too cute?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's one of those things where you are making definitions where no further defining is necessary. MAGA is MAGA, and even the nice, good Republicans who identify with MAGA means you've gone to the crazy side.
Matter of fact, Politico has this piece here, and they ask the question, is ultra MAGA lame? And this is Congressman Ruben Gallego, Democrat from Arizona. He said, I think Ultra MAGA is not a good talking point. We should just call them a bunch of weirdos. Anyone obsessed that much with any politician by nature is kind of weird. And then this says, congressional Democrats are more divided on using Ultra MAGA. The term partly resulted from polling by the Liberal Center for American Progress and Global Strategy Group, which found a new extreme MAGA agenda moved voters more than hitting Republicans on lower taxes for the rich. Okay, how about you just simply say just MAGA? I mean, I don't get it.
Well, there are those Republicans like Jenny Thomas who want to be as far right as they can get. And so they might be feeling good about being called Ultra MAGA.
Yeah, oh, Trump embraced it, and hell, they sold shirts.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, that's us. We love it.
Yep.
Yeah, but if either you're a MAGA or you're not a MAGA, and the more traditional Republicans, the few that are left that want to just be traditional, they just call themselves Republicans. They don't identify, well, I'm a MAGA, but I'm a moderate MAGA, because there's no such thing as a moderate MAGA.
Okay.
So they just call themselves Republicans.
So on that point right there, you said there are few traditional Republicans. Who?
There's a few.
Who?
There's a few. Susan Collins, Murkowski, maybe. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's
I
two.
think that's okay.
There's two.
You know.
Well, in the Louisiana context, they would say Cassidy.
Who?
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of people in Louisiana.
Yeah, a lot of people would say Cassidy. Romney. Some people would say Romney.
I know you're visiting, but, but this is a very red state.
Yeah.
But,
I know it's a red state.
But
they got me delusional calling him traditional.
Yep.
Yeah, they would Cassidy. Some people would say Romney is a traditional Republican.
Okay, here's my whole deal. Okay.
Have you given up on Romney as being a traditional? Romney.
Hell no. I mean, first of all, Romney can run around all he wants to. Bottom line is he's still trying to be Trump's Secretary of State. That's my whole deal. I'm a firm believer in if you think he gives that big speech, okay, blasting him, okay, to me, when you do that, you made a decision as to who that person is. And so you give that speech, and oh my God, folks were praising the speech, but then he wins, and so you meet with him to be a Secretary of State. And that, for me, is when that's me saying you're choosing party and power over principles and patriotism. And I'm just of the belief that, I'm sorry, if that person is so evil and so awful and so bad, there's no way in hell I'm going to work for him.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Right.
I'm not going to dance with him at all.
Right. Yep.
And I'm sure they're not going to pull a Senator Lindsey Graham and kiss his ass at every moment I can.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, there are Republicans who are trying to find a pathway to being considered reasonable and moderate, and some of them are struggling with that because they want to maintain power. They want to be in their position. They don't want to be right, but be out.
Well, I got to ask y'all this here since we are in Louisiana. How the hell people just say let that fake twang fool Kennedy get away with it? I mean that's about the most Hollywood fake accent I've ever seen. That Gary Chambers ad when he plays, this is what he used to sound like when he was a Democrat. Now he sounds this way. I mean, you get older and you get more country and more twangy?
Yeah, you know, I've been working in Louisiana politics so long. I can remember when Kennedy was a liberal Democrat. He was a liberal Democrat down here for a long time. He was an attorney in the governor's office, and then at some point in time, I guess right around the time when he got elected state treasurer, that's when he decided that the old country bumpkin act could work, and that's when he decided on his accent, and he sort of crafted the accent that he has now, and he's used it ever since then. But but it works for him. I mean, it works.
Because some of the people who are supporting him now weren't listening to him then, so they don't have that recollection.
Okay, but has anybody asked him about it?
Oh yeah, he's been asked about it, and at the paper and digital platform where I work, we could kind of keep a running log of some of the craziness that he says, and we run it every so often. That when he says another one, it's like we add it to the list.
I can't stand when he starts talking and get at fake country. It's grating.
And the problem is too, the DC media eats it up.
Oh, yeah.
He says it, and they run it on every CNN, MSNBC. Everybody runs it, and as long, so it's not just Fox. And so as long as everybody runs it,
Right.
he's going to keep saying it because he knows
knows what he's doing.
it gets him national press. So the DC media allows themselves to be
Because
manipulated.
in his questions on the committee, he really sounds like a damn fool. So who would go to Oxford or something like that?
Yeah, he's a Rhodes Scholar. Yeah.
At least on paper.
Yeah, on paper he's a Rhodes Scholar. Okay, so I got to ask y'all this here. We saw what happened in Georgia, the new Georgia voter project, where they really focused on registering hard-to-reach people. There used to be a point in Georgia where you had upwards of 800,000 people who were unregistered. The number of people who were not registered, they were able to tie it to driver's licenses, really brought that number down. That's really what has changed in Georgia. Is anybody trying that effort here in Louisiana? So just give us a sense of demographically the number of unregistered African Americans and Latinos, or let's say unregistered non-whites in Louisiana.
You know, Gary Chambers said the other day he thinks it's in the hundreds of thousands. What would you think, Will?
Absolutely.
He said it was 300,000 African Americans that were unregistered in Louisiana.
And I think that's a conservative count because there are so many people who are kind of off the grid, so they're not in places to be counted. And those are people who would otherwise be eligible to vote. I think the answer to your question is that there are pockets of groups that are organizing. And last year I suggested that we take a note from what's happening in Georgia, regardless of the end result on the election days, and ramp up the organization and to have it more broad and more deep, because Louisiana is black enough at 33% that we can really have an impact if we get more people registered and educated and informed. We're not going to make all of Louisiana blue, but we can change enough parts of Louisiana to have an impact on real legislation.
Well, I think that, look, when you look at red parts of the state, I mean, I sort of look at it like Pennsylvania. I look at it like Michigan. The reality is people hear Pennsylvania and Michigan, they say blue. No, they're blue statewide because of the impact of the large urban areas there. But again, to me, and I've really been, I was talking about this yesterday, and I've been saying this for months and actually for years, that you have to sort of have a mentality that took place in the 60s with CORE and SNCC and others, where you're going to have to go into these places and do that long, hard, going through the muck, knocking on those doors and reaching people. Black Voters Matter does that, but really an intense effort that is well funded in the state to actually make that happen. And so, do you have, since we saw what happened in Georgia, have folks been having those conversations in this state? Have they been talking about doing that and really getting their hands on the data, not just, frankly, those African Americans, but also increasing Latinos, but also poor whites?
I think there's been a focus on a redistricting issue more recently with the groups that would be the more natural places where they're going. I hope that that'll be coming next. But when you look across the state of Louisiana, beyond New Orleans, there are places like Jefferson Parish, right outside New Orleans, that used to be such a lily white place. Like when I was growing up, it was like, well, don't go over there, but if you go over there, leave before it gets dark. But now there are parts of Jefferson Parish that are 25-30% black. So there are increasingly more black people in some of these parishes in southern Louisiana. And then you have Baton Rouge, Monroe, Shreveport, some communities like that, where there are significant numbers of black people in even black cities like Monroe. But people think differently, so the city of Monroe doesn't get a lot of national attention, but that's a black Democratic city that elected a white mayor.
Wow.
So when you talk about registering the people, that's why I add education and information. Because if you simply register...
That's my point. That's what I'm saying.
They just kind of say, oh, should I do this?
Well, look, I was talking to Mondale Robinson. We had him on the show when we had the Poor People's Campaign. I forgot the name of the town, 3,000 people. It's 95% black, and they had a white Republican mayor.
Mm-hmm.
And he ran against him, presenting a very aggressive, progressive agenda, and got 75% of the vote. He said, because we went after the people who no one ever would talk to. Same thing in Ferguson. People were shocked. He was Ferguson, 67% black. They had never had anybody black on the city council. 67%. And it was kind of like, wow. And so when I talked to Mondale, he said, oh yeah, man. He said, we go to the city council meeting. He said it'll be 8 to 15 white folks at the meeting. No black people ever at the city council meeting. He said in a town that was 95% black, but they would not actually take advantage of political power. I just think that I think the big issue that I keep looking at is that I believe that people are waiting on parties to actually fund that and drive that, when in reality that ain't gonna happen. Because I think what happens is I think the Democratic Party writes off Louisiana, like they wrote off Texas for a long time, like they wrote off Georgia for a long time. And what Reverend Barber and others are saying is that we can't afford for the party to finally come around, when if we actually put in that work, we could literally change the demographics in terms of those voting demographics, and then that changes the politics in the state.
Absolutely. And some of it's going to be subject matter. So, you know, one of the things that in the context of Roe is that we may have a lot of pro-choice people among black folks in the greater New Orleans area, but up in northern Louisiana, not so much. It's more split in that part of the state.
Well, let me ask you a question as a fellow Southern guy. Okay, so when I was working in the U.S. Senate for Bennett Johnston, I talked to Roland about this last night. We could get about all we needed to get was 40% of the white vote, because we were going to get all the black vote. We were going to get 95% plus the black vote. If we got 40% of the white vote, we were golden. We were done. We were gonna win every statewide election between 55 to 60%. Now you have a very conservative white Democrat in John Bell Edwards that struggled in his last election to get above 30% of the white vote. He's getting 31, 32%. Is there any way to get those working class white Democrats back, or are they just gone?
No, it's like we talked about. It comes down to numbers. Everything comes down to numbers. Ron Kirk was the mayor of Dallas. He's always telling me, he said, roll out and count votes. And it was very simple. John Bell Edwards wins by 30,000 votes. Okay? So to me, if I'm breaking down how he won, I'm looking at where the votes come from and what were the numbers. And the reality is this here. If white voters are here, we have to over-index.
Yes.
And so when all of a sudden, so if you have a race and it's 25, 30% turnout, okay, the problem that I have, the thing is when I look at black turnout at 42, 45, 48, no, the effort has to be to take black turnout from 42, 45, 48 to 60, 62, 65. I go back to the Andrew Gillum race. Andrew Gillum loses about 30,000 votes in Florida. The reality is the Tallahassee Democrat ran a chart, and I wish I'd saved it. I probably could try to find it. And it showed the turnout percentiles per county. There were 15 counties listed. You had to get to the 11th highest county before you got to a blue county. So those top 10 counties in Florida, that turnout was anywhere from 60 to 75. Well, the highest Democrat turnout was 57. If Andrew Gillum gets Broward County from 57 to 65, he wins.
Right.
If Miami-Dade was at 54. And so this is where what I'm arguing to black folks is we see how white folks are voting. If we take our numbers from 42, 45, 48 to 60, 65, 70, we literally run elections. That's so even with that 30, that still gets you the win. That's why if there are 300,000 unregistered African Americans in Louisiana, my whole deal is somebody should be saying, let's go out and register a third of those people. We get 60, 70. If we register a third of those, and hell, we get 60, 70,000 of those to the polls, all of a sudden, that's game changing in Louisiana.
Right.
So that's why I'm curious, is anybody thinking about, yo, the numbers are right here. We just got to go out and try to get them.
Well, I'm a journalist, but I think about these things. So we got Essence Fest. A lot of people come in from all kinds of other places, but we got a lot of black folks from right here who go to Essence Fest every day.
Right.
What a perfect location to say, are you registered?
Oh, I agree.
Vote, you know? And I wonder, I'm just asking, I'm just putting it out there before it starts, are we going to see any of that this week? Because it's a perfect place for a whole lot of people who are not just passing through. They're there for the day.
Okay, so now let me ask this. Who are the groups in Louisiana that's their job? Are they doing it? Have y'all heard from them?
NAACP, Power Coalition, Urban League. There are others that can do that.
No. I ain't say can. Are they?
I haven't seen that yet.
I haven't seen it.
See, that's what I got a phone call from somebody in Texas. They said, "Hey, Roland, we're trying to reach Stacey Abrams because we want her to come to Texas and try to get us to do what she did there." And I'm like, you know, y'all can just do it.
She ain't gonna move there.
No, I was like, okay, you know, you can just do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't understand why you.
Right.
And I really think that part of this thing is that there's just some folk who they automatically start, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. And I just, for me, I'm looking at what's happening. I'm looking at many of us are leaving northern and midwestern states and returning to our family homes. And we can influence that by changing the dynamics. And I just don't believe that we're always locked into this deal. You know what, man? We're just living in this absolute red state. It ain't going to change. I mean, Republicans in Texas saw what was coming. That's why they got rid of straight ticket voting. They saw how they were getting decimated in Harris County, in Dallas County, in Bexar County, in Travis County. And so they were like, okay, that's not going to happen. And so, you know, Beto comes within 2.5 points of beating Ted Cruz. You look at them winning, again, those DA races, city council races, county races, judge races, not doing well statewide because still part of the problem, they won't go to the rural areas and shrink your margins. You ain't going to win. If you're a Democrat, you're not going to win in many of those rural places. The problem is ain't winning in rural places. It's closing the margin, not losing 80-20,
right,
but you're losing 65-35, 60-40. And Stacey Abrams actually showed that when she ran against Brian Kemp, going to those places. Speaking of Georgia, I'm going to talk about this. I do want to get your thoughts on that poll. 54-44. Senator Warnock against Herschel Walker. How do you see the dynamic of the Georgia race? And if Warnock is sitting at 54, Abrams also wins. It ain't like it's a bunch of Warnock-Kemp voters in Georgia. Thoughts, Robert?
Yeah. Well, I think Herschel Walker is probably the worst candidate that the Republicans could have run in that race. He refuses to talk to the press. We know about his background. It seems like every other day I hear about another child coming out that he hasn't claimed. And so I think he's going to have. Herschel's going to have serious problems. So far, I understand Senator Warnock has asked for a debate. Herschel has not agreed to a debate, and of course, if Herschel's people are smart, they'll keep him off of the debate stage because Warnock, I think, will slice.
You do not want Herschel Walker debating the senior pastor at Ebenezer Baptist Church.
So I don't think a debate's going to happen. So I definitely think that race will help Stacey Abrams. Well, I mean, Warnock's going to win. I don't see him having any problem at all. Now, will there be enough turnout? See, because what I'm worried about is people might feel so comfortable he's going to win.
Absolutely.
Some people might not show up. Warnock's going to win that race. We don't have to worry about that. And then people get complacent, and then for the governor's race, that's going to be a tight race. You're talking about less than a percentage point. And so maybe those people that don't turn out because they felt so comfortable that Warnock has a huge lead over Herschel that they don't bother showing up.
No, I don't think that's going to happen in Georgia. I don't think that's going to happen in Georgia. I don't think that's going to happen. I think after that runoff last time, no, we're going to see this sucker through.
Well, Abrams was close enough that some of it is on us. We needed more black folk to turn out and vote in that race to help put her over the top. But I mean, I think she ran a fabulous campaign. But in the end, you got to get more.
Well, you got to remember they also kicked a lot of people off the rolls.
They did.
So I mean, and who was Secretary of State?
Right.
Kemp.
Right.
So
absolutely.
that also plays a part.
It does play a part, and that's one of the reasons why the hard work is sometimes not sexy,
right?
But it's really important to watch what people are doing when other people are paying attention over here, which is one of those cases like right now. We got a lot of attention on Roe, necessarily, but if people are not paying attention to some redistricting and what's happening with some of the laws, like in our own state, that affect voters and voting patterns, you're going to begin to lose out.
Yep.
Because parish by parish, you're not going to have an opportunity to have the impact that you would normally have.
Again, you got to be able to go talk to people and get them on the ground. All right, speaking of the folks who did this work that wasn't sexy but had an impact, we come back, we're going to talk about the R-Kelly sentencing in New York, 30 years in federal prison. We'll talk with one of the leaders of the Mute R-Kelly movement. They played an instrumental role in this day actually happening. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network, live from New Orleans. Don't forget to support us in what we do. Download the Black Star Network app, available on all platforms: Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox, and Samsung TV as well. And, of course, you can support our Bring the Funk fan club. All dollars you give goes to support this show. Cash and checks go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C., 20037-0196. Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. We'll be right back.
Love our new Alexa.
It's a Buick.
Yeah, Alexa.
Buick.
Alexa.
It's a Buick.
It's an Alexa. It's a Buick. It's an Alexa. Coach, that's a Buick. That's an Alexa.
The Buick Enclave with available Alexa built-in.
Of course, I looked up to Spike Lee. Of course, who didn't? I mean, he's a genius. But then also, I was this kid from Brooklyn,
right?
That felt like,
give me my damn respect.
I made this, this creative art, right, that people are responding to. And it would have been great if we had the opportunity to sit one-on-one.
Hold on a second. Spike.
What's up, baby?
So I'm in LA right now. I got a one-on-one series for my network, Black Star Network. And I'm interviewing Maddie Rich.
I appreciate that, bro. That's a big moment, man. That was like, man, that was good. Got me all choked up. That's good.
Well, I'm all about connecting.
Appreciate that, bro.
How about sushi?
I just had sushi for lunch yesterday.
How about tacos?
Automatic emergency braking, one of 6 advanced safety features standard on every 2022 Chevy Equinox. Find new technology. Find new roads. Chevrolet.
Verizon just gave us all a brand new iPhone 13.
We've been customers for years. I thought new phones were for new customers. We got iPhone 13s too, switched to Verizon 2 minutes ago.
Ours were busted, and we still got a shiny new one.
Check it out. So wait, everybody gets the same great deal.
I think that's the point.
iPhone 13 on us for every customer. Current, new, everyone. On any unlimited plan, starting at just $35. All on the network more people rely on.
We're all impacted by the culture, whether we know it or not. From politics to music and entertainment, it's a huge part of our lives, and we're going to talk about it every day right here on The Culture with me, Faraji Muhammad, only on the Black Star Network.
Peace and love, everybody. I'm Purple Wonder Love.
Hey, I'm Donnie Simpson.
What's up? I'm Lance Gross, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Martin!
30 years in prison. That's what Robert Kelly received today in a federal courtroom in New York after being convicted on racketeering charges, sex trafficking as well, stemming from his efforts over the years to use his fame to sleep with a number of underage women. When you listen to the various stories that were told, in fact, witnesses testified today, gave their impact statements, and they talked about how he damaged their lives and what he did to them. Some shocking and horrific details that were covered. Now that he's been sentenced, again, he's going to be taken to Chicago, where he faces another federal trial for child pornography and obstruction charges. Now, prosecutors actually were seeking 25 years. His defense team was seeking about 10 years, citing a number of issues, including him being sexually molested as a child, things along those lines, and he should deserve a lenient sentence. The judge went 30 years, and so he's facing that federal trial. He's 55 years old. And so he gives those 30 years. We'll see if he's convicted and sentenced concurrently. But the reality is, R-Kelly is likely going to spend the rest of his life behind bars. Joining us right now is one of the folks who wanted to see this happen, Kenyette Barnes. She is one of the founders of the Mute R-Kelly movement. We had her on the show numerous times before. Glad to have her back. Kenyette, glad to see you. This is certainly a day that you and others we're pushing hard for, trying to get the public to understand the ramifications, the people who still lauded R. Kelly, who still played his music, who essentially gave cover to him. Just your thoughts with this breaking news of his sentencing of 30 years in federal prison.
Well, for me, it is surreal. My feelings are mixed. I have to be clear, you know, as an activist who organizes with those who are against the carceral state, you know, having to grapple with the fact that accountability in this case did involve the criminal justice system. So that is something that I do grapple with. However, I square that with the egregiousness of his crime and the sheer horror and trauma that he has inflicted upon countless survivors, most of whom were underage at the time. I also feel a sense of relief, definitely being a face of a wide-scale campaign such as this. It does sort of, you know, consume a great deal of your time, but I also do hope that what this verdict does offer to the survivors is a chance to begin their healing, because this healing is going to be lifelong. And there was something you stated in your opening, Roland, that I do want to you know, comment on, the fact that Robert Kelly was a survivor. What I'll tell you is, as someone who has done work in sexual assault survivorship and also human trafficking prevention, in the Black community, over 60% of Black women are survivors of sexual violence. And there's statistics that 1 in 7 males are survivors of sexual violence. And these individuals do not go on to lead a conspiracy to use their power and influence to sexually malign countless young people. So I thought that that was a pretty poor excuse. By his defense.
Keep it. Look, I mean, we all know lawyers. I mean, their job is to is to reduce as much jail time as they possibly can, and so that was put out, and clearly that had no impact on the judge, who went above and beyond what the federal prosecutors were even asking for. They wanted 25 years. He actually got 30 years. This is, but what's interesting is you still have people out there who are huge R. Kelly fans. I was looking at some Twitter, some Twitter account. I think it's called R. Kelly Fans, and they were saying that there were no specific laws that he actually broke. These were just stories, and they were saying these are people who wanted to benefit from their careers and chose to go along with these things. And a lot of these folks are African American. And it's and you have folks who just they continue to make excuses and provide cover for R. Kelly.
You have people who still believe in the Easter Bunny, Roland. I mean, I find that when those individuals attempt to sanitize his behavior, and we have to be clear, many of these survivors were 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. There is psychological research to say that the human brain isn't even fully developed at that point. So the fact that Kelly, at this point, 30, 40 years old, was attracted to and grooming, because we don't talk about grooming in these conversations, these very young, impressionable young girls. He went to South Chicago. He didn't go to Willamette and Evanston. That was intentional. He actually sought out young people who did not have the social capital to protect them. And that's what makes his behavior so predatory, so predatory.
But it's not over. That was the New York case. There's the Chicago case, and if I'm correct, that was a Minneapolis case. And so he's still facing other potential trials.
Yeah, that is correct. There is a federal case.
And I think isn't there one in Georgia too?
So let me answer that one separate as an addendum. So there is a federal trial in Illinois that is scheduled in August, I believe. And then there is a Minneapolis state trial. And it is, it's the same type of behaviors that happened. And because his behaviors are so egregious and they have an MO to them, they're going to be the same. And we predict that we're going to see the same outcome. So in regards to Fulton County, Georgia, I think that's the case you're referring to. In 2017, the former Fulton County chairman attempted to get charges brought against him. And the then District Attorney Paul Howard decided not to. And it is my hope that another conversation with our sitting District Attorney in Fulton County might yield a different outcome. So Georgia, not yet. Can I put a pen on that? Not yet.
Okay. Again, and look, if those trials go forward and he's convicted, it all is based upon how the judge wants to do the sentencing. If they're concurrent, they're all running at the same time. But if they decide that he has to serve those years after, if it's consecutive, he absolutely will never, ever see the light of day.
Right. And like I said in the beginning, I do, part of this work was to square the, the kind of moral, ethical, grounds of working with the carceral state, with the egregiousness of his crimes. And, what I do believe will happen is that these will be consecutive sentences if he is convicted in Illinois and the state court.
All right, Kenyette Barnes, we certainly appreciate you joining us, the Mute R. Kelly movement. Obviously, last question for you. You have the other trials, but what's next? Let's say y'all see this through. Is your work done, or are you focused on other things?
Well, what I'll say is it's not done. I mean, as long as R. Kelly's music is still being played on streaming services and urban radio, it's never done. And that's the ask, is that when we said mute, we meant mute. So Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, Deezer, all of those, they have a more responsibility to ensure that they are not getting revenue dollars off of the music that is essentially a manifesto of a pedophile. And when we say mute, we meant mute. So we're not done yet.
So so let me ask you this here: if these victims sue him and sue his various companies, and then they were able to grab those proceeds, what then happens? Now is that a different conversation because that money is going
I think that's a bit of a different conversation, and maybe someone who is more versed in civil litigation would be better to answer those questions for you. But I think that, you know, and I've heard that theory that, well, if people decide to sue, at least they have money from the revenue of his music, and I feel like that's more of a straw man's theory. I think that there are ways in which, and first of all, he's not the only person that was complicit in this. So to answer your question, are we done? No. There are people who were instrumental in making sure that he continued to harm black girls in South Chicago, and they don't get off the hook either.
Gotcha. All right, Kenyette Barnes, we certainly appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, appreciate it. Robert and Will, I want to ask y'all about another story that it just came across literally in the last couple of hours. A team searching, this is from a tweet from Sienna Reeves out of Mississippi. A team searching the basement of a Mississippi courthouse for evidence about the lynching of black teenager Emmett Till found the unserved warrant charging Carolyn Bryant in his 1955 kidnapping. Yes. Now, Carolyn Bryant is still alive.
Yeah.
Has never been arrested for her lies about Emmett Till. She absolutely perjured herself. It said a warrant for the arrest of Carolyn Bryant Donham, identified as Mrs. Roy Bryant on the document, was discovered last week inside a file folder that had been placed in a box. Documents have been placed in there. The warrant was dated August 29th, 1955. And at the time, the sheriff was quoted as saying, did not want to bother with that because she was a woman who was raising 2 children. So I'll ask the two of you. Carolyn Bryant lives in North Carolina. She's in her 80s. Should Carolyn Bryant be arrested and charged?
Well, there is no statute of limitations on murder, so the warrant should be served. If it's a valid warrant, the warrant should be served. And then she would get a hearing, and she would get due process, and we'll see what the hearing judge says. But if it's a valid warrant, again, no statute of limitations on murder, they should serve the warrant.
Well, we just saw a 101-year-old former Nazi guard convicted, and he's sentenced to prison. Now, he 101.
Right. Yep.
Here's the deal. Jews did not stop. To this day, they are searching for any Nazi guard who was over Holocaust victims, and they want them held accountable. No one say, he 101. No, he was convicted. He's going to prison. Should Carolyn Bryant be arrested?
Absolutely. I mean, I want to know if there's any reason that anybody in the state of Mississippi can identify as a reason not to proceed. If it is, let's find out what those reasons are, and then more likely than not, refuse
there's a
knock
DA.
them down.
Well, it's all about the DA. I mean, the reality is the district attorney can move forward. The DA there, the DA is Dwayne Richardson. The story here says WJTV, DA Dwayne Richardson, whose office would prosecute the case, declined comment on the warrant, but cited a December report about the Till case from the Justice Department, which said no prosecution was possible. No, that's the Department of justice.
Right.
That's federal civil rights statutes. Right. Yeah. I'm sorry, she lied in state court. She perjured herself in state court. DOJ ain't got nothing to do with that.
Yep. Yep. No, I mean, if you have committed a crime and there's no statute of limitations, then it seems like that should be pursued. Now, if you can defend yourself and you can show that you were not responsible or that there were other circumstances,
right,
that's different. But that does not mean it should not be pursued.
Look, here's my whole deal. I know how a lot of our folks get, and we sit here and we say we forgive. Damn that. I'm sorry. Look. I'm just like every single Jewish person who lost somebody in the Holocaust. If they still living, you got to pay the price for what you did to black people. And I would hope black organizations and black entities are putting pressure on that DA to do something, just like those families did with the 4 little girls in Birmingham. They had the federal prosecution, but this is one of those examples. And again, I don't give a damn if she's in her 80s. Her lies on that stand led to her lies. First of all, her lies led to the lynching of Emmett Till, and then her lies on that stand led to those white men getting off for the murder for that. So yeah, I'm like,
sounds long overdue to me.
Yep, that's just me. Folks, hold tight 1 second. We come back. We're going to talk with a sister who is the commissioner of an athletic league that made up of HBCUs. They want to go to the next level. We'll talk to her about that. We also will chat with officials from Xavier University. They're launching a medical school. That's right. No longer just going to be just Meharry. And so lots more to talk about here on Roland Martin Unfiltered. We're broadcasting live here in New Orleans on the Black Star Network. We'll be right back.
iPhone 13 on us for every customer. Current, new, everyone. To show the love.
Pull up a chair. Take your seat. The Black Tape. With me, Dr. Greg Carr, here on the Black Star Network. Every week, we'll take a deeper dive into the world we're living in. Join the conversation only on the Black Star Network.
Love our new Alexa.
It's a Buick.
Yeah, Alexa.
Buick.
Alexa.
It's a Buick.
It's an Alexa. It's a Buick. It's an Alexa. Coach, that's a Buick. That's an Alexa.
The Buick Enclave with available Alexa built-in.
Of course, I looked up to Spike Lee. Of course, who didn't? I mean, he's a genius. But then also, I was this kid from Brooklyn,
right?
That felt like, you know,
give me my damn respect.
I made this, this creative art, right, that people are responding to. And it would have been great if we had the opportunity to sit one-on-one.
Hold on a second. Spike!
Love it.
So I'm in LA right now. I got a one-on-one series with my network, Black Star Network. And I'm interviewing Maddie Rich.
I appreciate that, bro. That's a big moment, man. That was like, man, that was good. Got me all choked up. That's good.
Well, I'm all about connecting.
Appreciate that.
Verizon just gave us all a brand new iPhone 13.
We've been customers for years. I thought new phones were for new customers. We got iPhone 13s too, switched to Verizon 2 minutes ago.
Ours were busted, and we still got a shiny new one.
Check it out. So wait, everybody gets the same great deal.
I think that's the point.
iPhone 13 on us for every customer. Current, new, everyone. On any unlimited plan, starting at just $35. All on the network more people rely on.
Black Star Network is east.
Oh, no punches! I'm real revolutionary right now.
support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart. Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?
Hi, I'm Dr. Jackie Hood Martin, and I have a question for you. Ever feel as if your life is teetering and the weight and pressure of the world is consistently on your shoulders? Well, let me tell you, living a balanced life isn't easy. Join me each Tuesday on Black Star Network for A Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie. We'll laugh together, cry together, pull ourselves together, and cheer each other on. So join me for new shows each Tuesday on Black Star Network, A Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie.
I'm Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, and on the next Get Wealthy, what do the ultra wealthy know that most of us don't? Well, the truth is that there is financial exclusion, and unfortunately, far too many Black folks haven't had access to this knowledge, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about on our next Get Wealthy with Melinda Hightower, a banker who's doing something to share exactly what you need to do to make it into the high net worth status.
They weren't just saving just to save, they were saving for a purpose.
That's right here on Get Wealthy with me, America's Wealth Coach, only on Black Star Network.
Hey, I'm Donnie Simpson.
Hi, I'm Eric Nolan.
I'm Shantae Moore.
Hi, my name is Latoya Luckett, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Folks, Mia Guidry has been missing from Ponchatoula, Louisiana since June 19th. The 15-year-old is 5 feet 2 inches tall, weighs 140 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Anyone with information about Mia Guidry should call the Ponchatoula, Louisiana Police Department at 985-386-6548, 985-386-6548. All right, folks, a lot of folks know about the SWAC conference. They know about the MEAC. They know about the CIAA. They know about, again, these HBCU conferences. But what about the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference? Well, we're here, of course, in New Orleans, and there's several schools from the region that make up the GCAC. Joining us right now is the commissioner of the conference, Kiki Barnes. How you doing?
Doing great. Glad to be here today.
All right. So for folks who don't know, again, I think a lot of people, they know about individual schools, but not realizing that they're also part of conferences.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to be here and share about the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference. We are a conference of 8 HBCUs. We are the only HBCU conference in the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics. And I'll say that one thing people don't realize sometimes is that the NAIA was the first association to integrate, to allow Black colleges to participate. So I think our first basketball championships were Tennessee State, I think 3 years in a row. I have to go back and check for sure, but Tennessee State at one point was a member of the NAIA. But our current member schools are Dillard University here in New Orleans, Southern University at New Orleans, Russ College in Mississippi. We have Oakwood University in Alabama, Fisk University in Tennessee, Philander Smith in Arkansas, Wiley College in Marshall, Texas.
Now,
That's
you've had some moving and some shifting. Xavier used to be a part of the conference, and we see this conference realignment stuff happens all the time.
Yeah.
And so you used to be at Dillard athletic director there.
Yeah.
Now you're full-time commissioner. And so what really is, first of all, what are the sports that the schools play in the conference?
So for the conference, we actually offer championships in men's and women's cross country, men's and women's basketball, women's volleyball, men's and women's outdoor track and field, and this year will be our first year offering a championship in baseball. So we're really excited about that. About 3 years ago, our Council of Presidents passed a sport expansion plan for the conference, meaning that we'd add additional sports so we can offer more championships. So we're looking to hopefully next year be, well, 23-24, to be also adding softball and tennis over the next 3 years. So we're really excited about our growth in terms of championships, and we'll be looking to add some new members as well.
And obviously, so before you were operating as commissioner while still being athletic director, so now this is a whole different deal where now your complete focus is being the AD. Actually, I think we got some audio issues, and so let me just do this here, folks. I'm going to go to, just hold on, I'm going to go to a quick break, then we're going to fix Kiki's microphone, and then we'll come back so we can make sure we're hearing her clearly. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Or just do this here. Just go to the wide shot. Yeah, we got commercials. Go to the commercials.
I mean, he's a genius. But then also, I was this kid from Brooklyn,
right?
That felt like, you know,
give me my damn respect.
I made this, this creative art, right, that people are responding to. And it would have been great if we had the opportunity to sit one-on-one.
Hold on a second. Spike!
What's up, baby?
So I'm in LA right now. I got a one-on-one series with my network, Black Star Network. And I'm interviewing Maddie Rich.
I appreciate that, bro. That's a big moment, man. That was like, man, that was good. Got me all choked up. That's good.
Well, I'm all about connecting.
Appreciate that.
Hi, I'm Vivian Green.
Hi, this is Essence Atkins.
Hey everybody, this is your man Fred.
All right, we're back. So we got the audio issues sorted for you there. So let's continue. We're chatting with Kiki Barnes. She is the commissioner of the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference, made up of 8 HBCUs. Again, what I was saying is that you had dual duty there, being an AD, but also now being commissioner. Not now focused on commissioner. Look. Sports is a costly endeavor, and folks talk. You have a lot of major programs that lose money. They're spending millions and millions of dollars, and so what is the goal of the Gulf Coast schools to ensure that they're being profitable with their programs?
So I think there are a couple of things. One is, in terms of our goals, we want to make sure that our student athletes have a good experience. Like, when students go to college, they're looking to participate. It doesn't matter whether they're at NCAA Division I, II, or III. They want a great quality championship experience and an opportunity to compete at a national championship. What we want to do is provide the premier HBCU athletic experience at the NAIA level. And we want them to feel as if it's top notch. And so hiring me full time gives us now the opportunity with someone to be fully focused on all aspects of the championship experience. We've actually put our championships out for bid, so we're looking to be getting bids here in the next few days, and we'll be deciding over the next couple of weeks where our championships are going to be held. We've never done that before. We're looking to expand how we share our story online. We're looking forward to doing those kinds of things. So how we're communicating who we are via social media, trying to figure out streaming, those kinds of things. Those are things that will help us to, one, help generate revenue, as well as create this experience that we want for our student athletes. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. We've got some surprises. We have our conference meeting next week. We'll be at Fisk University in Nashville. And so I've got some surprises to share with our team about things that we're going to be doing and some changes that we're making moving forward now that I'll be full-time.
Obviously, there's been this renewed attention, if you will, or focus on HBCU programs.
Yeah.
A lot of that with Deion Sanders going to Jackson State, having obviously that megaphone, his social media, his media influence. We look at Grambling hiring Hugh Jackson, former NFL head coach. You've got Eddie George, former Heisman Trophy winner, hired at Tennessee State. You've got Reggie Theus, longtime NBA star, athletic director, head basketball coach at Bethune-Cookman. You see, and again, so you see the level of attention. But the other thing though is, how do you though get the students of your institutions, the graduates of your institutions, and those students excited about those athletic programs, as opposed to gravitating still to the larger programs that gets a lot of the attention?
Well, I think at the smallest level, we have to think about how we build community, how we utilize social media to build that community. So one of the things that we will be focused on, and that's actually one of my #1 goals for this year, like we have to build community around the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference, who we are and what we represent. And so I believe that a collaborative effort amongst the conference and the schools to utilize social media in telling our story is going to be critical in being able to kind of, break the monotony. I follow social media, and you'll see people saying, all we hear is about Jackson State. All they talking about is Florida A&M. Well, they can count on Gulf Coast Athletic Conversation being in that conversation. We're going to insert ourselves and we're going to work hard collaboratively to do that. And I'm looking forward to that.
You also, you have these historic universities. You have, again, fervent bases there. I think it's important, as far as how I look at this, to really get those students and graduates to understand that they are the greatest marketers, if you will. So you can't just, so if you are a graduate and you're wearing your gear, you're posting it, you're sharing those things, you're actually showing up, but not just actually showing up, you're buying tickets. And I'm gonna say this, and again, folk can sit here and get mad all they want to. I don't care. Y'all can sit here and say, you didn't go to a HBCU. I don't care. I have talked to enough presidents, enough athletic directors, and enough coaches to know you got to get folk to get out of this hookup mentality.
Yeah.
You've been athletic director.
I know.
And it's like, y'all, we got to fund this. Everybody can't attend the game for free.
No. And I mean, we really have to think about the economics. We really have to focus on economics. So one of my favorite friends who was at the Alabama State, she was the former athletic director, Jennifer Lynn Williams. They used to have this big classic, I can't remember the name of it, in Alabama, but she wore a shirt and it says straight out of comp tickets. So basically, we need your support. We need financial support. When people are having the conversation about facilities and why our facilities are this, that is directly connected to support. And when we're having conversations with people about support for our programs, the one thing that they want to know is, well, what are your alumni doing? Where's that support?
Which means if you have basketball teams, how many season ticket packages have you sold?
We need you to buy season tickets.
How many individual tickets have you sold? When you go on the road, how many people are showing up? Things along those lines. I mean, that is a part of this. And again, like I say, it's always interesting because I'll have folk who and look, you have ardent HBCU supporters, and a lot of them have this attitude. Well, if you didn't go to one, you don't understand. No, I understand broke.
We understand, bro.
Right, and I'm just saying that, look, what people have to understand, HBCU athletic programs are not going to grow if people are unwilling to actually say, we're going to the game, I'm buying a ticket, we're buying concessions, and not just saying, we're going to roll in and we're going to all chill in the parking lot, and then...
We need you in the stands.
Because I've told presidents, yo, y'all need, if anybody comes on and they want to tailgate, charge them.
Yeah.
I mean, look.
Yeah, I will tell you the other thing that they do when you think about facilities, if they have those boxes where you can, the VIP boxes, those are paid for by sponsors or alumni. Those aren't just like, well, I'm somebody, so I just get the box for free. They actually pay for that, and they may get a group of tickets that they may share with someone,
Right.
but it's paid for.
And just because you was Miss Dillard in 1970 something or Miss Dillard in the 80s or the 90s, you ain't Miss Dillard right now.
No.
And I see y'all. She trying to be nice about it. I ain't trying to be nice about it. Okay, I'm not trying to be nice. I'm telling y'all. I remember when I was a promoter with the SWAC tournament, and man, he came to the radio station. He was like, he said he had to finally say, look, y'all, we got to make money off this conference basketball tournament. He said everybody ain't a VIP.
No, but we can provide a VIP package for you at
Yes.
a cost.
Yes.
At a cost, we can do that.
VIP package for a check.
Absolutely.
Or Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, direct deposit.
We accept all forms of
Cash.
payment.
I'm just saying.
Except for crypto. We're not at crypto.
No,
But everything else.
I'm with you. I don't they were trying to get me to take crypto, and I said, no, I ain't taking no damn
We'll do crypto yet.
Roll and take cash. Ones, fives, 10s, 20s, 50s, 100s.
We need the Benjamin. We need the Benjamin.
Don't come at me no Bitcoin. I don't care what y'all say. I don't care. No. I need real cash. Y'all can keep play. All y'all Gen Zs can play crypto all y'all want to. Guess what? Roll actually do with real money. So yeah, but I mean, but that really has to be the deal, because I have talked to too many presidents and too many alumni presidents where the average giving is 3 to 5%. That means that all these people walking around in Philander Smith shirts and Tougaloo shirts and Xavier and Dillard and Fisk, 95% of them not sending a penny back to the university.
Yeah. We have to decide that we want to contribute and support our own. So we definitely need the support. We will be bringing our championships to some cities near you soon. So we need to make sure that if you hear the GCAC is coming your way, we need you to buy a ticket to support the conference championship.
And you mentioned this here, and I think that people need to even understand this here when you talk about facilities.
Yeah.
First and foremost, all of your schools are not state schools.
No, we're all private except for one school.
There you go.
We only have one public school, and that's Southern University of New Orleans.
So you're not going to state legislators to get funding. And so when you talk about facilities, I mean, look, we understand. Look, your conference schools are not going to have facilities on par with my Texas A&M, University of Texas. But the reality is that people have to understand. And again, I have personally seen the facilities at a number of HBCUs. And we're talking about, you got to have stadium upgrades. You got to have, because look, you athletic director, I don't care. People might say, well, you can't compete for that 5-star. Hell, that 2-star or 3 stars coming to a school, and they're looking like, I don't want to see mold. I don't want to see weak workout equipment. You still have got to have good facilities for those student athletes.
I think, that's one part of it. So I think we have to have good facilities, but it doesn't mean that we have to have like a 20,000 seater, but what we have needs to look good. One of the things when I was at Dillard that I did was, all their pictures are all over. When you come into our facility, it's literally a celebration of all the successes of former student athletes and current student athletes. So we've got Hall of Fame. We've got pictures of them winning academic awards, doing work in the facility. We have one hallway where when a student becomes an All-American athletically, there's a hallway with their banners. So when they walk in, it looks presentable. So, it's a 1,200 seater, but when you walk in, you feel a sense of pride. So I don't think it's...
And then when you outside, parking lot's clean, grass is cut.
Right.
All of that
I think all
stuff.
those things contribute. So
Absolutely.
if we show up as our best self, I believe we can compete for 4 and 5 stars.
But you can't fund that unless you got funding.
We got to have money.
That's just it.
Money.
And I'm telling, I know I'm making some people mad right now. But they're gonna have to get over it because I'm telling you, that is, if we're gonna, you know, and see, here's the other thing, and I want you to speak to this here. So on BT Awards the other night, Diddy announced that he was giving Jackson State $1 million because what Deion Sanders is doing. He's giving his alma mater, Howard University, $1 million, and he said, you know, we've got to go play for us. And there are people who are watching me right now, and they're saying, oh, man, you know, we got to have more of our black celebrities do that. But the reality is this: regular, ordinary folk who give $20, $25 can actually hit $1 million in the same way. So you've got to have, I mean, bottom line is this here: if you have 1,000 Dillard graduates decide to say, I don't know what the Dillard basketball season package is, but let's just say it's $250.
$250.
I mean, that's game changer for that AD when that $1,000 times $250 is coming in every single year. You now can actually plan for your program.
That definitely changes the game, and so you want to see. You want to see some people get behind it. And I'll since we're talking about Dillard, I'll just throw it out there since that's one of my schools. And I just left there. But I had a group of Hall of Fame group that were very instrumental. So that was a group of former athletes who were part of this group that were instrumental in helping to help us raise money. So they wound up helping me establish a scholarship that we raise money up for every year. I think when I left, we were at about almost $200,000 on that scholarship, because we had a group of alumni who were committed to helping us with that work. And so finding, you know, alumni who are committed to doing the work is very helpful. And in terms of leadership on campus, making sure that the leadership on campus is committed to the things that you can control. Again, like making sure you have your best self presented, and then being able to communicate and articulate why this is important and what a vision for where we're trying to go. And that's what I get to do at the conference level. I'm articulating now a vision for the premier HBCU conference. You know, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do some great things together, and I think we're going to shake up the world like Muhammad Ali used to say.
All right. Well, sounds great. Well, looking forward to that, and can't wait to see what happens.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks a bunch. All right, folks, hold tight 1 second. I got to go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about Xavier University, what they are trying to do to expand and grow and do some innovative things here in New Orleans. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered right here on the Black Star Network.
I'm Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, and on the next Get Wealthy, what do the ultra wealthy know that most of us don't? Well, the truth is that there is financial exclusion, and unfortunately, far too many Black folks haven't had access to this knowledge, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about on our next Get Wealthy with Melinda Hightower, a banker who's doing something to share exactly what you need to do to make it into the high net worth status.
They weren't just saving just to save, they were saving for a purpose.
That's right here on Get Wealthy with me, America's Wealth Coach, only on Black Star Network.
Love our new Alexa.
It's a Buick.
Yeah, Alexa.
Buick.
Alexa.
It's a Buick.
It's an Alexa. It's a Buick. It's an Alexa. Coach, that's a Buick. That's an Alexa.
The Buick Enclave with available Alexa built in.
Of course, I looked up to Spike Lee. Of course, who didn't? I mean, he's a genius. But then also, I was this kid from Brooklyn, that felt like, you know,
give me my damn respect.
I made this, this creative art, right, that people are responding to. And it would have been great if we had the opportunity to sit one-on-one.
Hold on a second. Spike!
What's up, baby?
So I'm in LA right now. I got a one-on-one series with my network, Black Star Network. And I'm interviewing Maddie Rich.
I appreciate that, bro. That's a big moment, man. That was like, man, that was good. Got me all choked up. That's good.
Well, I'm all about connecting.
Appreciate that.
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart. Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?
This is Judge Mathis.
Hi, I'm Teresa Griffin.
Hi, my name is LaToya Luckett, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Hey, folks, welcome back to Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. We're broadcasting live from New Orleans. We know about Meharry Medical School. Most of our African-American doctors coming through Meharry. But people may not realize a significant number of them actually matriculate from Xavier University, majoring in medicine and science. But the folks at Xavier, they've decided to say, you know what? I keep sending folks out somewhere else. Let's create our own medical school. Vice President Patrice Bell is with us. She's with Xavier University. Announcement came down a few weeks ago about that. So tell us about that. I mean, that's not something that happens overnight. It's not like all of a sudden we're opening medical school next year. But how would y'all evaluate that decision?
Sure, absolutely. So Xavier has a long and storied history of being the #1 producer of undergrads who go on to medical schools. We have partnerships with all of our HBCU medical schools. We have partnerships with predominantly white institutions. They vie for our students. They waive the MCAT for our students. So they know our students can go and succeed. As we looked at the success we were having, not only in that undergrad pre-medical program, but also in building numerous graduate programs, our storied pharmacy program that's been around for little less than the university, but since 1927, that produces more pharmacists, our addition of biogenetics, our addition of bioinformatics, masters in public health, and the crisis in this nation of not having diverse practitioners whom are caring for people where they are, how they need to be cared for, with the sense of diversity and cultural sensitivity that they need to cure what ails them. So over the past 2 years, President Verrett, who sadly could not be here due to travel, made the decision that we would begin to explore this. And so a few weeks ago, we made that announcement that we would start the actual work of opening our own medical school.
So how many black medical schools are there in the country?
Currently in the country, there are only 2 that I'm aware of, Meharry and Howard. That is less than there were in the 70s and 80s.
Really?
Yes. A report called the Flexner Report, look it up, everyone, came out decades ago saying that there were all these standards for a medical school to be accredited and to succeed in this nation. What it resulted in was the closure of numerous black medical schools. As we look at that, and we look at the fact that there was actually a dip in black practitioners over the past few years, although that has begun to rise again recently, we see that it is our role, founded for justice and humanity. We are a faith-based organization. We survived the pandemic very well, never having an infection rate of over 3% on our campus. Our president is an immunologist and a biochemist, really digging into the underlying issues that was causing the kind of infection and death rate we saw in our black and brown communities. We felt called to do this work and to begin to address it.
So now walk people through what that process is, because like I say, it's a number of years to go from announcing to opening.
So First and foremost, you need resources. I can say today that we are on the precipice of signing the agreement for a planning grant. So we have been awarded money, I can't say from whom yet, to actually do the planning and the feasibility study, and we are starting that process. From there, it becomes a numbers game, a financial numbers game. We need donations. We will need big corporations. We will need alumni. We will need medical practitioners who just want to see this work done, and all those who care to work with us to actually invest in our opening this. We will need facilities. So as we were presenting to our own city council locally here in New Orleans, to the Economic Development Council just last week, they asked us when we thought we would really start the work of building the school. And President Verrett answered, 3 to 5 years is really when we will be breaking ground and putting up a building, because we have to get accreditation. Now, it's important to note that we don't want to just open a medical school. We want to open a medical school that is innovative, that is doing genetic coding, that is creating new lanes of medical and health sciences and doing research as well, so that we have the information we need to train practitioners who are out in the world doing the work that they need in urban and, frankly, rural communities that are so underserved.
Now, you obviously there's Tulane Medical School here. So in terms of what would be your competition in New Orleans and Louisiana? What other schools?
So we have Tulane, we have LSU, both have medical schools. We don't like to think of it as competition. That's opportunities for partnership.
That's competition.
They don't do. We love our neighbors, you know, in either direction, and up in Baton Rouge and all across the state. But truthfully, we don't really consider it as competition. Many of them have come to us with opportunities to partner and interest in working with us, along with major medical systems. They're in competition with national partners. We have medical systems and universities with med schools coming to us already asking to partner. We think we own a very unique lane. We think that we are doing very specific work. When we create our graduate programs, we have a formula that our academic affairs department uses that looks at a career. Physician's assistants, for example. We just graduated a physician's assistants class, the first that Xavier has done. It was created because when we did the research in Louisiana, under 3% of physician's assistants are black. In the nation, it's not much better. When we graduated the class, we doubled the number of practitioners in the state, and I think increased by about 40% the number of black physician's assistants in the state. So we want to occupy a very specific lane where we're working to address critical health disparities.
Now, you mentioned, of course, resources. Look, I'm a firm believer in you got to be real clear. What are y'all trying to raise? What's the number?
We do not have an exact number yet. I will say that we are in the midst of a centennial campaign.
Half a billion. Thank you. Don't sit here and do that. No,
half a billion.
That's it. You got to put it out there.
You're going to get me in trouble.
No,
half a billion and more. And more, but it's for big things. It's for the medical school, but another commitment we have, we see so many.
So half a billion, and you're trying to raise it by when?
2025.
2025,
and a little beyond. We will remain in a fundraising phase. We are reaching our 100th in 2025. We would like to extend that even beyond to continue what we're doing, but we have big goals. We just did a strategic plan. We want to stay true to our mission, Black and Catholic. We want to have a vibrant student life, expand STEM, expand our liberal arts. We also have more jurists who sit at the federal level than almost any other school in America. That's important. But we want to be in a position that any student who wants to come to Xavier can come, and not having the dollars does not prevent them becoming as close to financially blind as possible. Too many of our students come, many of them brilliant and prepared, many of them brilliant and underprepared due to the travesty that can be K-12 systems, especially in urban communities, coming to us not ever having seen the chemical table, right? And then becoming a robotic invasive surgeon just a few short years later. We do the work, and having those students where they collide, where academics and money collide, and so somewhere around the sophomore year, they're pushed out by finances. We've done the gap work, but they can't stay and actually go across that stage and graduate because of money. Xavier wants to change that. If you want to come to Xavier, we want to have the money to bring you to Xavier. So It's
That's
a big
why I'm
number.
saying you got to put that number out.
Yes, sir.
Because here's why, and I'm being serious. What happened? This is, it really is something that happens across the board with African Americans, being afraid to say, we got to raise $100 million. So what happens is we sort of kind of know, and I think we have to challenge our community, just like I was just talking with Kiki about. I'm like, look, folks, y'all got to buy tickets. You can't get this thing comp. You can't say we need our schools to be teaching our children, but it has to be funded. And we can't rely on, because the reality is Xavier's not a state school.
No, it is not.
And so in terms of your funding source, are you allied with any institution? You have some schools are tied to AME, tied to CME. You're Catholic, but you're independent. What are you?
We are Catholic but independent. We are not run by the Roman Catholic Church. We were founded by Mother Catherine Drexel, who later became St. Catherine Drexel, with her own money. She was an heiress from Philadelphia and worked her way down to the Mississippi Delta, funding schools for blacks and Native Americans, right?
So y'all ain't getting no check from the Vatican.
We're not getting a check from the Vatican. Sometimes we get a hand slap from the Vatican, but not a check, and they love us. And we actually President Verrett was just there with the Papal Council talking about issues of race in the Catholic Church. But we're not getting a big check from anywhere. We do receive federal dollars as we go after grants, like all the HBCUs. But our dollars
research
come from
grants, things along those lines.
Research grants. We did receive an infrastructure loan.
Right.
It's a loan, though. People think, oh, you got $100 million. It is a loan. We have to pay that back. It has not been forgiven. So we need private
was that a new
donations.
loan?
That's a new loan. We got the
$1.6 billion was forgiven.
We weren't in that. We weren't in that class of loan forgiveness.
Okay.
I do government relations at Xavier too.
Okay.
So
Just
all
checking.
our government people working, my friends, all across on both sides of the aisle, we need that forgiven so we can move forward in a healthy financial state. But it's private donations. It's our alumni. It's grants. It's private grants. It's private donors. You know, I call them the Foxes, Friends of Xavier, Friends and Family of Xavier Rights. Send your checks. And we are really reliant upon that to do this work.
Okay. All right, then. So somebody watching or listening and they want to support and give, where do they go?
You can come to our website, www.xula.edu, or send us a check at 1 Drexel Drive in New Orleans, Louisiana, 70125. I think it's important that they visit the website and really see everything that we do. It's really amazing to see the stories of our students. They are very unique. They come to us, vast majority of them fully Pell eligible. That means living basically in poverty. And they come to us without the benefit of the best education always, and they always exceed our expectations. And that is what we have done for generations.
All right, so you want to raise the $500 million by September 25th?
That's right.
Excuse me, 2025.
No, take September 25th.
And the goal is to for the medical school to open?
Breaking ground in 3 to 5 years. We think closer to 3.
Okay. All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
I appreciate it,
okay,
folks.
Come visit us.
All right, we'll do. Okay. But matter of fact, because yes, y'all one of the HBCUs I have not visited. So here's the deal. I have a rule, and I said so. Here's the deal. I only wear gear on my show of HBCUs that I've actually visited. The only time I visited, my brother was enrolled in a summer program at Xavier, and we dropped him off.
Math Star, Chem Star, Bio Star.
I don't know what it was. It was something. We dropped him off in the summer. That was his senior year, so it probably had to be 85. Mm-hmm. So that's the only time. So y'all got to invite a brother to Xavier.
Well,
I ain't been.
Wait. I came armed with an invitation from President Verrett. Okay, saying he would actually like to invite you to come to campus, to the campus that housed the Freedom Riders, the home of Norman C. Francis, his predecessor, to have tough conversations about race, education, and health equity in America. So let's work it out.
And I bring my stuff with me.
Let's work it. Well, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
We do have some gear for you here, so you'll just have to keep it.
Yeah, I'll take the gear, but I ain't wearing it till I come to campus.
I'll make it better for you. The first HBCU to win the national championship cheerleading competition.
I know.
Is Xavier. We're gonna have the cheerleaders welcome you.
That's fine.
Okay.
We already had them on the show.
Well, let's have them.
No, we've already had them on the show.
You had them on the show?
Boo, we way ahead of you.
Well, excuse me.
We had them on the show.
Don't be coming in here giving me all this 504
We had
attitude.
him on the show. Come on, y'all
Okay,
late.
good. We're late. I'm late.
No,
I'm sure my staff is not late. I'm late.
We don't mess around on my show.
Good.
We had
Good.
them on, so I look forward to coming to camp.
They're my babies. I love them. They're excellent.
All right.
So thank you.
All right. I look forward to it. Let's make it happen.
Okay, we'll make it happen.
All right, y'all. Quick break, and we'll be right back. Roland Martin Unfiltered, the Black Star Network.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jackie Hood Martin, and I have a question for you. Ever feel as if your life is teetering and the weight and pressure of the world is consistently on your shoulders? Well, let me tell you, living a balanced life isn't easy. Join me each Tuesday on Black Star Network for a Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie. We'll laugh together, cry together, pull ourselves together, and cheer each other on. So join me for new shows each Tuesday on Black Star Network, A Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie.
How about sushi?
I just had sushi for lunch yesterday.
How about tacos?
Automatic emergency braking, one of 6 advanced safety features standard on every 2022 Chevy Equinox. Find new technology. Find new roads. Chevrolet.
Of course, I looked up to Spike Lee. Of course, who didn't? I mean, he's a genius. But then also, I was this kid from Brooklyn,
right?
That felt like, you know.
Give me my damn respect.
I made this, this creative art, right, that people are responding to. And it would have been great if we had the opportunity to sit one-on-one.
Hold on a second. Spike!
What's up, babe?
So I'm in LA right now. I got a one-on-one series with my network, Black Star Network. And I'm interviewing Maddie Rich.
I appreciate that, bro. That's a big moment, man. That was like, man, that was good. Got me all choked up. That's good.
Well, I'm all about connecting.
Appreciate that.
Pull up a chair. Take your seat. The Black Tape. With me, Dr. Greg Carr, here on the Black Star Network. Every week, we'll take a deeper dive into the world we're living in. Join the conversation only on the Black Star Network.
Hi, I'm Vivian Green.
Hi, this is Essence Atkins.
Hey everybody, this is your man Fred Hammond, and you're watching Roland Martin, my man, Unfiltered.
All right, folks, few headlines before we go. Ooh, Lord, actress Kimberly Lease got folk upset with her on social media. She posted this on her Instagram page where she was praising the Roe v. Wade decision. She posted, millions of babies will be saved from death by abortion due to the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Hallelujah. Hashtag all glory be to God. Now, that came days after the Supreme Court made their decision. Folk, it was so much heat, she turned the comments off on her Instagram post. And of course, folks have been hitting her on Twitter and all the platforms. And so, that's what's going on there. So if y'all go to her Instagram page, you ain't gonna see no comments. She turned them off. And so, we'll let you know, what we hear next. Let's talk about Bruce Beach. Of course, we talked about that story out of California. That's where there was a black-owned beach. It was owned by African Americans, but it was taken by the state. It's now been returned to the family. The state of California, of course, made the decision. They voted. Now the Los Angeles County Commission voted Tuesday to return the property to Marcus and Derek Bruce, descendants of the original owners. Now, the two plan to lease the land back to L.A. County at $413,000 a year, so the county lifeguard facilities can continue to operate. The agreement also dictates the family can sell the property back to the county for no more than $20 million, which is expected to happen. A police chief in Michigan is apologizing for using black people as targets at their gun range. Farmington Hills Police Chief Jeff King took full responsibility, and the city's mayor said all targets have been taken down. The city is 20% black, and a legal review is underway after the discovery of this particular issue. And so we'll end the show on that. So, yeah, smart move for y'all taking it down. It only makes sense to do so. Folks, that's it for us. Here's the deal. We are here in New Orleans partnering with Coca-Cola at the Essence Festival. We're going to be covering stuff all across the city, a lot of events going on, talking to various individuals as well. So here's what our plan is. I need y'all to make a programming note. And so we're going to be, so tomorrow we'll be live from 5 to 7 right here doing Roland Martin Unfiltered. But beginning on Friday, we'll do a live Coca-Cola show from New Orleans from 4 to 6 p.m. local time, 5 to 7 Eastern. So just make a note. We'll be live from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live streaming some different events as well throughout the day. We'll have that live show from here, 5 to 7 p.m. On Friday, on Saturday, on Sunday as well. 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And so we've already setting up folks for interviews with people. I've already heard Congressman Val Demings is from Florida. She's coming through Essence Fest. I've talked to Mark Morreale, CEO, National Urban League. Melanie Campbell's going to be here. Tammy Roman. A lot of folks are going to be here. We'll be talking to them. And so if y'all looking for the best coverage of what's happening here at Essence Festival, trust me, you want to tune in to the Black Star Network. We've got a team of 18 people here that are going to be fanning out all across the city. Look for our social media post. So look at all of our social media accounts, Instagram, fan base, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. We'll have the stuff posted all over. And so we can't wait to show you all the things that we've been doing. We've been here since Monday preparing for this. And so some great things lined up. We certainly hope you spread the word. Now, let's see here. Now, our last check, we had 889 likes on YouTube. Now, I keep telling y'all, I should have to be asking y'all to hit that doggone like button. Folks have been joining us. Let's see, have we finally hit 1,000? Y'all, it's 960. Y'all know, come on. Hit the doggone like button so we get 1,000 likes. We should be at 1,000 likes every single day on this show. Y'all know better. I shouldn't have to be asking y'all to do it. Okay, so we just need 40 more doggone likes to get to it. And so please, hit the doggone button. Don't let me have to start cussing here in New Orleans. I had a good bowl of gumbo earlier today. I feel good. So let's go ahead and get those doggone likes up. We should be doing this every single day. And if y'all in the chat room, tell these other folks to hit the doggone button. We be having 2,000 and 3,000 folks sitting here watching live, so hit the doggone button. All right, y'all, that's it for us. We got to go. Again, we got some great things lined up for y'all. Again, folks have been reaching out to us. Hey, all of you publicists out there, if you're bringing your clients through New Orleans, hey, hit us up. Send us an email. Go to RolandSMartin.com. Go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Hit contact us. Let us know who you got. We'll schedule them to have them to sit down and chat with them. And so we're really looking forward to it right here. And so y'all be sure to support us in what we do. Don't forget, download the Black Star Network app. We got to get to 50,000 downloads, y'all. Okay, that's critically important. Then our next goal is 75,000 and 100,000. We've done well with YouTube. But again, I'll give a perfect example, y'all. When I last checked in terms of YouTube, I think we're at 862,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. We've done very well. 862,493. And so now we're trying to get our downloads. And so we're at Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV. Download the app. You can see all of our content, Rolling with Roland, all of our different shows. You can check it out. And of course, I think today's Wednesday, the Matty Rich interview is coming on right after the show, right? Y'all don't want to miss that. He got really emotional. He had not talked to Spike Lee personally in 20 years. I hooked that up. Wait till you see what happened. Folks, you're going to enjoy this. And also, support us in our Bring the Funk fan club. Your dollars allow for us to travel, to hit the road, be able to do the things that we do, be able to broadcast. So please, check our checks or money orders to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C., 20037-0196. Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is R Martin Unfiltered. and RM Unfiltered, and Zelle is rolling@rollingsmartin.com, rolling@rollingsmartinunfiltered.com. All right, y'all. So here's the deal. So I said, so normally, y'all, come on, Janae, take this picture. So normally, I don't, I told you, normally I don't wear gear until I actually visit the campus. But since VP Patricia Bell says that the president has made it clear is inviting me to campus to do some stuff, and we're going to bring the show. So I'm going to go ahead and, Xavier, y'all lucky y'all colors are black and gold, me being an alpha. And so let me go ahead. I'm putting on the Xavier hat. All right, Xavier, we're going to get y'all some new hats. So, you know, I'm going to get that. We need that form-fitting hat. Y'all not messing with y'all. All right, y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and put on the Xavier hat. And so listen. All right, Xavier, y'all gotta invite me now. Normally I don't wear HBCU stuff unless I've been to the campus. And so I think y'all are gonna meet at 66th HBCU I visited. So we look forward to coming to campus. And so we got some great stuff happening again, y'all, this week. Looking forward to y'all enjoying the show. And so until then, we gotta go. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow right here. Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. The place to come to for all things Essence Festival here in New Orleans. How?